New Minnesota Vikings general manager Kwesi Adofo-Mensah definitely gambled a little bit in the 2022 NFL Draft, his first year at the helm of the Vikings, trading in division with the low-energy Lions as well as the greasy, grimy Green Bay Packers. And some of the grades are coming in fast and furious on the Vikings' 10-man draft class. Even though they got phenomenal players in the class, the two trades are what stands out. And Connor Orr of Sports Illustrated, formerly of NFL.com, are you kidding me? He did not love the Vikings' moves at all. He gave the Vikings a D-. May as well just give him an F. I mean, D-, just whatever. Here's what he said. I usually make it a point not to give Fs because I feel like this reflects negatively on collegiate players who have no control over their destination, less on the executives who are making the picks. Also, a lot of people gave the Seahawks Fs in 2012 when they drafted Russell Wilson, and then freezing cold takes came in. We spent a lot of time rightfully hearing about Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, who comes to Minnesota with a great promise as the kind of executive who can finally bridge the gap between analytics and personnel. But for a team with a few pronounced needs, it's hard to stomach dropping from pick 12 to 32 and not netting more of a return. There was a handful of premium players remaining in the first round at the time of Minnesota's first selection, and instead they dropped back and replenished the secondary with a handful of players who might have been slightly less talented than the ones they could have gotten if they had remained at 12. Booth is a gem in this class and feels a little underrated. While his physicality has flashed in college was against ACC wide receivers, he has the hand-fighting skills that should translate quickly to the NFC North against some physical pass catchers. And one of those physical pass catchers is the guy that the Packers got at 34, Christian Watson. So now, basically, in a roundabout way, he's saying you could have stayed at 12 and took Hamilton, but then you traded down to 32 and took Lewis Cine, even though I really do like Lewis Cine, man. I think that he's going to be a phenomenal player. Kyle Hamilton's a unicorn for me. I think that he may have been the most talented player in the draft, but I mean, Kwesi, maybe they did. Maybe they were a little bit concerned about Kyle Hamilton's speed a little bit. I don't think it's overly concerning. I think he'll be phenomenal with the Ravens. But the main sticking point here is the trade value. Even though by all modern metrics, the Vikings won the Lions trade, they dominated the Packers trade. And I don't really know why people are so upset because guess what? The Lions, they would have gotten Jameson Williams no matter what. If the Vikings didn't draft Jameson at 12, they would have traded up with the Texans at 13, and then the Texans would have gotten all that nice in draft capital. And if the Packers didn't trade up with the Vikings at 34, they would have traded up to 35 or 36 and then gotten Watson, and then the other team would have fleeced the Packers. So I understand. It is still hard to stomach trading in division and potentially improving the other teams. Plus, at such a visible position at wide receiver, it's always going to stand out because the average fan can really tell when a wide receiver is doing well. It's hard to tell when a nose tackle or a guard or a center is doing well. You can tell when a center is doing poorly. Yeah, we've seen that. But either way, hey, love the one you're with. I do love and respect Kwesi Adofo-Mensah. It is definitely a new way of looking at it. And just because Kwesi's trade chart doesn't look like yours or one that was made by Jimmy Johnson 30 years ago, and just because his big board doesn't look like the one that you glanced at on ESPN 5 minutes before the draft, doesn't mean he doesn't know what he's doing. So the Vikings, to me, they got an extremely talented draft class. I think everything will work out in the wash. I think that Booth and Evans could be two future stars at corner. Lewis Cine is going to be a hammer, man. Ed Ingram, I think, is going to be a starting interior offensive lineman week 1 as a rookie. Brian Asamoah is going to be the replacement for Kendricks, and there's a lot of other really fun projects in there. Altamehu, Vidarian Love is interesting. Jalen Naylor, if he can stay healthy. Ty Chandler, of course, is a true third down back. Nick Muse coming in. So I'm extremely happy with the draft class. The only stigma is what happened with those trades, but I think that everything is going to work out in the wash. But let us know your thoughts on our thoughts. Sports Illustrated's Connor Orr, are you kidding me? Absolutely roast of the Vikings draft. Let us know your thoughts on our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skull Production Value.